Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. It's Saturday. You know what that means. Of course, we're meant to hear continuing the journey of Batman Brave and the Bold. This is Season 1, Episode 18. Of course, we're not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode, I'm not saying it's horrible, not saying it's terrible. I just wasn't a fan of last week's episode. As you guys may have seen in that video, in case you did not see it, and I don't blame you because it didn't get as many views as a lot of the other ones, but it was a weak episode. Booster Gold, I'm not really a fan of that character, and he had no character growth whatsoever in the episode. They were kind of teeing it up and hinting at it when Skeets the little robot was stolen by the villain, which was also a lackluster villain. I'm like, okay, who is this guy? He's from the comics? I don't know. But he was saying to Batman, we got to go save Skeets. We got to save him. Like, he was showing some vulnerability, some emotion. And then he can't muster up any sort of actual emotion when Skeets is rescued. And then Batman, who was making it very clear he wanted nothing to do with Booster Gold, was trying to give him a little speech like, you surprised me today. He's like, hold that thought, Batman. Let me take this call about my toy line or merchandising. I'm just not a fan of Booster Gold in general, but that just made it more irritating and frustrating that he had no actual character growth whatsoever because he's going to get press and all this attention now because he worked with Batman. It's just frustrating. And also, like I said, the lackluster villain, really wasn't a fan. At first, I'm like, is this Vandal Savage with the title and Caveman? But obviously, it makes more sense when you see the actual character, this caveman kind of guy who's been alive forever due to some sort of space rock. That makes sense for the title. But yeah, just overall, it was not a good episode. Not terrible, but just wasn't that great. So I'm interested and hopeful for this episode. Some of you guys were commenting on that reaction saying just wait for this upcoming episode. So here we are. Let's dive in and let's see what they show us, guys, and hoping for a better episode. Let's dive in. Let's check it out. Let's go. Is that Robin?
We'll be right there, Commissioner.
Oh my gosh, it's Robin. Whoa, look at the car. Is this a flashback?
Crazy Quilt's paintings are no exception.
Crazy
He's referring
Quilt.
to waves of light, not water. Red, blue, and green are the basic colors by which the human eye perceives light. Quilt is after the extremely dangerous stimulated emission light amplifier.
Okay. There it is. This has to be a flashback,
Right
I'm
there,
guessing.
Quilt. We cracked your color clues.
And now you're painted into a corner.
Nice. It's definitely an homage to the 60s Adam West. I can feel it. Holy crap.
I will carve the cityscape into a masterpiece to rival Mount Rushmore.
That is crazy. Figure out something. That was risky. Blind.
I guess Crazy Quilt finally saw the light, Batman.
Solomon Grundy. Okay, we're still continuing with Robin. Okay. Dang. Okay, that works. Threw him like nothing. Different outfit, too. So clearly he's older.
I may be small, but around here, I'm the big man in charge. No lectures.
Oh, he's by himself. Okay.
I get to have all the fun to myself. He's all yours, officer.
Interesting, he's still Robin, but he's
Thank
left
you, Robin.
Batman.
The citizens of Bloodhaven can sleep safer knowing you're on patrol.
Even though some people thought I couldn't make it on my own.
Oh. Hmm?
Looks like.
Morse code. It spells out an address on the corner of Haney and Aparo.
What are you doing here? I've got it under control. See you at the next Bat Family reunion.
Bat Family. Oh, I like to watch that.
Look, I know you left Gotham so you could be your own man, but I'm only here to help. Stay behind.
Probably
the
is a
rock.
trap.
If you're worried about my well-being, maybe I'd be safer back in the cave.
Speedy had to sharpen arrows. Aqualad had to scrape barnacles. Everyone earns their stripes.
It is interesting to see Robin, like, all grown up in a Robin-esque suit.
The famed painter Henri Matisse abandoned his brush in favor of paper cutouts for the same reason Quilt has. He's blind.
I was blinded by a prepubescent brat.
Well, yeah.
You're a lousy artist and a lousier villain.
Come and get me, little birdie.
Is that actually him?
Wait, Rob,
Well,
it's a trick.
that was good. It's a trap. Don't go for it.
would like this, don't you think?
It was decent.
I'm forced to be a little more creative. I have something much bigger in mind.
What? Uh-oh.
In the meantime, my kaleidoscope will generate enough centrifugal force to flatten you.
Having fun yet, guys? Oh.
Escaping a death trap is about quick thinking, not brute force.
Yeah, but my way worked too. Oh man, trashed my bike.
That sucks. It's as is.
Not to worry, Robin.
Please, not the sidecar.
I thought you liked the sidecar.
Yeah, when I was 8.
So Red Star Labs, are we gonna see the Flash? No, probably not. Okay. Oh,
Arts and crafts are over, Quill.
The boy blind.
so he's not exactly
I
blind.
was hoping you would be flat enough to fold into a little paper hat.
Oh, human
Let
shield.
the scientist go.
Well, now you can
Oh
answer
no,
to
not
me.
this again. Anybody getting a little bit of deja vu right now with that thing?
You go after Red. He's probably prepping their getaway.
You can tell Robin does not want to work with him again. Uh-oh.
Respect?
Of course it's not. Of course it's whatever that is, not actual bullets.
I'll be able to carve a building into a work of art just by looking at it.
That wasn't gonna work. Effective. Good job. Oh. It's always super close to hitting them, but it never actually does. Oh.
For years, I sat in that cell,
Just up there.
listening to Robin's exploits on the radio.
Just walks away, no one says anything like, huh?
Quilt gave you lookout duty, huh?
Sure did.
Yeah, I used to get lookout duty too. And after all these years, Batman still treats me like I'm a little kid.
In a way, yes. Just like Batman would do. That's good. Obsessed, yeah.
I've got some things I want to get off my chest.
Oh shit, now you're up there, I
First
can talk to you now.
I'm not a child anymore. You taught me a lot when I was a kid. But I'm
Yes.
an adult now, and I've got my own city to look after.
Thanks for taking out the henchman.
Yeah. Apparently that's my specialty.
Oh shit, okay, good luck.
I'll sit for a portrait, but make sure you get my good side, okay?
I made a few modifications.
It's rockets, okay, sure.
The world is my canvas.
That cannon is crazy.
So what's the plan?
You're a villain.
Yeah,
Your call.
figure it out. Acrobats, yep.
Once a flying Grayson, always a flying
Exactly,
Grayson.
that's why they took that shot.
I've always had faith in you, Robin. That's why I trusted you to work the streets of Bloodhaven solo.
And there we have it, guys. This was actually a pretty damn good episode of the show for a number of reasons. Number one, the actual intro, like opening bit before the actual intro of the show plays, ties in directly to the actual episode, which we really don't see that hardly at all. So that was really cool. Secondly, yes, the villain wasn't great, but the reasoning as to why he's returning throughout like the actual main portion of the episode when Robin's older, very smart how they handle that, because a young Robin blinded him with the weapon he was trying to steal. So Crazy Quilt came back and was trying to get revenge on Robin again. Of course, Batman teams it. So we'll get to, a number of those things. But the biggest thing that really stood out to me was more history and more development of this Batman and Robin, obviously, in this universe we're following, this world we're following of this, universe type. What I'm trying to say is like this new world of Batman, Aquaman, all these characters. We're learning more about this Batman because we have not learned a lot about this Bruce Wayne / Batman. We've seen bits and pieces throughout flashbacks and things that tie into the overall narrative of episodes you're not expecting. Like the whole episode revolving around Red Tornado early on in season 1, how that really ties into actually Bruce's origins before his parents and everything. I was just surprised at the things they were showing and developing with this Bruce. Even though it was origin stuff, we already know this about Bruce, but at least they're showing it and we're seeing development. Because usually it's just one-off episodes with Batman and another character and some weird crazy villain, and that's the episode. That you're not really getting a lot of like lore of this universe. So now we have Robin, of course, Nightwing Robin, of course, Dick Grayson, young Robin, blinds, and I had the voice cast over here, Crazy Quilt, because I'm gonna forget that freaking villain name. Crazy Quilt blinded him in the intro before the intro song theme plays. And then we have an older Robin, which I like the redesigned suit. Like, I like the fact that he's still staying as Robin, but he updated and modified the suit. He's not Nightwing. I'm guessing that's a thing that we might see later on in the show. But then again, this show was built around an older era of Batman that I don't think Nightwing existed until much later in the comics. So I'm guessing they're not going to have Nightwing, like Robin, become Nightwing. I think this is just like, okay, in this iteration of Batman, in this universe that we're building, because this is a Batman show, but we have a lot of like Justice League-esque members, Aquaman, all that, like Green Arrow. We have a bunch of these other characters that exist in this world that, in this instance, Dick Grayson is not going to become Nightwing. Maybe he will. I'm just saying in this instance, he's grown up, he's in Bloodhaven, but he's wearing an updated Robin suit. Now, I do like the fact that they addressed why Robin left. He was tired of being treated, like a kid, right? He was tired of, changing the wheels or greasing the wheels or whatever. But then Batman throws this knowledge back, so-and-so Speedy did this for Green Arrow, Aqualad did this for Aquaman. Everyone earns their stripes. It's not all just fun, happy, whatever. You're a sidekick, you're learning. There's certain things you have to learn how to do, because when Robin left, it's just Batman doing all these things that maybe Robin just didn't want to do, because he's like, I don't want to do this stuff in the Batcave, like whatever. So what I like is that they're revealing in this instance that throughout these episodes leading up to this one, Batman at a point in history had a Robin, had Dick Grayson as a sidekick, but then he's on his own. He's teaming up with other heroes. He's teaming up with other characters, because maybe Robin actually left right before the events of the show starting, and so maybe he's opened up to working with other heroes, or maybe this has always been a thing, but what I'm saying, I'm just thinking, like, what if Dick Grayson leaving and going to Bloodhaven on his own caused Bruce to realize, I need to work with other heroes, I need to do something because I need help on certain things, because there's certain villains that Batman needs help with. In this instance, Crazy Quilt with this like giant like tank looking thing with these color beams and stuff, whatever, coming out of the cannon blast. I don't know, it was just a weird episode in that sense. But what I really loved is the actual like messaging behind Batman and Robin. The fact that Robin is just laying all this stuff out while he's up in the air tied up and shit, it was pretty effective, because Robin is like wanting to get this stuff off his chest, because he's being thrown back into a world that he wanted to get out of so bad. It reminds me of Titans, the live action Teen Titans show, which was not a good show. But the point in that was, the opening of that show was, this show was starting out with Dick Grayson leaving Gotham, leaving behind, Bruce, still being Robin, and then there's that infamous from, I think it was from the trailer. It was from, I think, the first official trailer, fuck Batman. Because he was like so mad and angry at what he dealt with. This is that same thing in a sense, but Robin wasn't going that far, but he was clearly tired of being under Bruce and just being the psychic and riding in the sidecar, which he did, which was funny. I don't think this means we're going to see Robin a lot in future episodes, but I'm glad that they did this episode to address that Robin does exist, that he is out there, that he did work under Batman at one point, and it was an homage, of course, to the Flying Graysons, which was a nice little moment there. But I just like what they actually just established as, this did happen in the timeline. Bruce did have a Robin. Batman had a Robin. So that was interesting, because the opening was definitely a throwback to Adam West 60s era, which was really cool. I appreciate the homage there, and the opening, like getting the phone call and all that. It's pretty good. It was pretty good, in the music as well. There's sometimes I've noticed this, not often, But there was that one moment animation wise that really was throwing me for the loop, because whenever you're doing animation, the mouth movements have to try to sync up as much as possible with the actual dialogue, because a lot of the times they're doing the dialogue and they may do the animation afterwards. Sometimes the animation comes in first and they have to like sync up the dialogue. There's a moment where, and by the way, Crazy Quilt, I got to look at the voice. It's Crazy Quilt. His henchman, the color guard, I don't know what the, like, just, okay, a red, green, and blue guy. But it was interesting at first, but then it kind of really got boring quickly because they couldn't really do anything productive. But the point is, when Robin knows where Batman is and he's standing like on like a little like ledge thing above like the entrance into the building where Batman was captured, and I think it was the blue guy that was out there. When Robin stands up and says something to him, you know, I used to be on patrol or something once, or whatever the line, close up shot, his mouth is moving, but the words are not syncing up as good. I'm like, whoa, that was rough. Ooh. Because a lot of times they actually do a pretty good job. Just wanted to address that. I did notice that was kind of jarring for me, and I kept thinking about, I'm like, no, that was really weird. That was a weird moment of like, I think they would have maybe fixed that a little bit, but it's fine. It's whatever. Whatever. But yeah, this was a pretty fun episode. Comparatively to last week, this was a way better episode. Even though the villain Crazy Quilt, not a good villain. But I do like the story of him blinding him and then him getting revenge. Like, at least that was a nice a through line connection. That, yes, and he even said this Z-lister. So it's good that Robin even addresses that this is not a good villain. Like, it's not. Because honestly, him fighting in Bloodhaven, Solomon Grundy, I thought that was fun. Right? And then, of course, that ended pretty fast. And then here comes Batman. So, yeah, overall, it was a fun episode. I had a good time with it. At points, probably cutting around, I got so fucking tired. It's not because I was getting bored. I'm just exhausted. So, there might be a couple of moments where it's kind of cut some stuff out because I really wasn't reacting much, but I was just like, ooh, I'm getting tired. So, trying to stay awake. So, what did you guys think of the episode of Batman Brave and the Bold? What were some of your highlights? Obviously, for me, as you guys can tell, it's all the Robin stuff. I thought they really did a really good job handling the Robin stuff. I thought that was really good. So I hope we see more Robin. I don't expect we're going to see much of him, but I hope we do see him again. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.